You mentioned Yeshayahu Leibowitz, who was definitely considered one of the greatest minds and hearts of the Israeli people. Like you mentioned, he vociferously opposed the occupation of 1967 and was a very vocal critic of militarism in Israel. And in fact,
Judeo-Nazis, yeah.
He did say that. I wasn't going to go there today, but yes, he did, and that shows that there is within the Orthodox tradition a stream that is humanistic. And in fact, decades ago, some of the strongest support for social programs in Israel, some of the weakest populations in Israel, did come from the Orthodox parties. So historically going back, disabled people who aren't getting sufficient government pensions, it was actually these parties who promoted disabled people's rights. But today, because of changes that have gone through the Orthodox community in Israel, they've ideologically on other issues completely, the axis has reversed. So today, those parties are the most vociferously anti-social programs. Whenever a disadvantaged groups stands up and says, we are being treated unfairly, like disabled people, like women, like queer people, but even if there isn't a religious obligation, like there's nothing that says, don't treat disabled people badly, but when disabled people ask for increased government pensions, saying, we don't even have enough money to pay for basics, we're getting welfare funds that are less than minimum wage, how can we even survive on these tiny pensions? And the Orthodox press is like, fend for yourself, what do you think this is? Now, that's decades ago, that's ludicrous. No Orthodox person, or few Orthodox people would have said that, but the leaders of the camp over the decades have shifted from one pole to the other, where they've become, instead of religious socialist in orientation, they've become religious capitalist in orientation, with everything that means. Hacking and slashing welfare programs. So I mean to say by this that the great man you mentioned was a shining star of a time when it was possible to be Orthodox and be Universalist, where you could still be an Orthodox Jew and be a humanist. Sadly, that that strand of Judaism has basically been snuffed out in recent decades.